day two of a 4-day Grand Prix of Grand Prix of Sebring, brought to you again by Cooper Tires. As you can see, the drivers working their way down here in USF Juniors. We've had some great racing in this category thus far, 13 drivers in total. They'll get themselves down here. We'll be getting ready to rock and roll for another 10-lapper. Now, cap off essentially their component of this 4-day weekend. They ran Thursday and Friday. It's Friday and Saturday for USF Pro 2000, Saturday and Sunday for USF 2000. So, again, 13 drivers set to go here right now. And, again, making sure that the track is clear and ready to go. So, we'll bring those cars down. And before we go through the grid, we'll do that when they get onto the racetrack. Joining me now, another one of our drivers from the USF 2000 program, of a driver who ran actually in USF Juniors last year, Elliot Cox from Sarah Fisher Hartman Driver Development. Thanks for joining me. Great to have you up here, and I'm sure you're excited to get racing.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. There's been some great racing so far. That Indy Pro 2000 race a second ago was great. The USF Juniors races so far this weekend have been awesome. I'm really looking forward to it, and it looks like we're going to be able to produce some nice, close racing.
Well, the good thing is, yeah, we've got USF 2000, we've got the pro guys. They've shown you what can happen on the racetrack. It's up to you USF 2000 guys now to deliver for us to cap off the weekend, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think with how well the St. Petersburg weekend went, and there's just a lot of potential in this field, I think we're going to put on a great show. 13
drivers, as I say, in the field. We'll come back to Elliot Cox throughout this race here now. The drivers have worked their way down onto a pit lane to get things underway, and we'll give you the full driver rundown here. Again, they've already run a couple of races, one yesterday afternoon, one earlier today, and we've had a couple of D-Force drivers who have scored victories so far. But the driver leading the points coming in is your pole sitter, Joey Brienza, for Exclusive Autosport. A couple of second-place finishes, but as any driver will tell you, they want to get that victory. Drivers are on the grid and getting set to go, folks. Let's fire things up right now. We have 13 elite engines ready to light the fires. Here we go. Drivers, start your engines. And I like the sound of that down on pit lane. Engines firing up. And let's have a look at the grid as they get set to go. 13 drivers in the field, starting 13th in the number 93 machine out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida for Exclusive Autosport. It's Giovanni Cabrera. Row number 6, we'll see a Brazilian and an American. It is Eric Schouten in the number 90 for Exclusive Autosport out of Brazil. And the West Coast driver out of California, Carson Etter, in the number 57, looking for another great run of experience. Into the top 10 now, row number 5. Brady Golan on the outside in the number 18 machine out of Austin, Texas. Rookie here in this program as well for D-Force Racing. He'll start alongside his teammate Lucas Facuri, another one of the Brazilians, in the number 17. He'll start in the 9th spot. Row number 4, all the way back at 8th position. A win in race number 1, 5th in race number 2. He's right there in the championship fight. That is Australia's Quinn Armstrong. In the number 16, he'll look for a big start to work his way forward. The D-Force Racing driver starting 8th alongside the DC Autosport pilot Ethan Ho in the number 68 out of Los Angeles, California. Ho in the number 7 will look to see if he can't work his way onto the podium from the inside of row number 4. Row 3 will be a couple drivers from VRD Racing. On the outside at Hoboken, New Jersey, it's Max Taylor in the number 33. And on the inside, the number 12, that is Ethan Barker. Last year a privateer, this year running with VRD Racing. Barker out of Houston, Texas. Row number 2, Jack Jeffers on the outside. Couple of third-place finishes for Jeffers to start the season for Exclusive Autosport, and that number 92. He'll start 4th. Inside, Jimmy Lockhart in the number 48 for VRD Racing. On the front row with 13 drivers in the field, Nicholas Giaffoni coming off a victory in race number 2. In fact, his fast lap in race number 2 was better than his second fast qualifying lap. That moves him up to the outside of the front row, so good for Giaffoni. But the driver they've chased to the green every race so far, Joey Brienza out of Golden, Colorado, the Exclusive Autosport pilot in the number 91, will once again set the pace out of turn number 17. 2 second-place finishes for Brienza. He leads the points right now coming into race number 3. Brienza and Giaffoni on row number 1. Lockhart and Jeffers on row 2. Barker and Taylor on row 3. Ho and Armstrong on row 4. Facuri and Golan row 5. Etter and Schouten on row number 6. And Cabrera on row number 7. Let's go back here again to Elliot Cox. Let me ask you this question. We've talked about what drivers do on the warm-up laps, getting the heat built into the tires, trail the brakes a bit, see if they can't warm everything up. What's the mindset? Are you a guy that you say anything to yourself? Is there something you say? Stay calm, stay focused. Do you have kind of a mantra that you use on that lap before we go green?
For me, I just kind of tell myself to stay focused, stay calm, get what I can on the start. That's Pretty much it. A lot of it's focused on getting heat in the tires. Lots to be worked with the brakes in these cars. With not much downforce, you have to generate a lot of heat with the tires with the brakes. But yeah, just a lot of staying focused and working your way to the front.
Is it in your mind, or do you, like, I know when I drive, I verbally talk to myself. I say, come on, stay cool, stay focused. Here we go. You know, I literally say it out loud. And you do the same thing, or is it in your head?
No, I do the same thing.
I love that. Every driver's a little bit different on that warm-up lap, because if you've been sitting on the grid, you're getting hot, but once you roll off the grid, the air starts coming through you a little bit. The minute you're on the track and getting ready to go, you get the visor down, you are ready to go racing. And all these drivers are set to go here. It'll be 10 laps, as we said, 15 for Pro 2000, 12 for Elliott and the rest of the USF 2000 drivers tomorrow. And again, 10 laps here for the drivers in USF Juniors. They will look from here to the event at the end of April at Barber Motorsports Park, a Thursday-Friday race as part of the NTT IndyCar Series event at Barber. So again, wrapping things up here for all these drivers. We'll see, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 more drivers join the field for Barber. So this new program, brand new race car again for here for 2023 with the Tatis JR23, the same chassis, very similar car to the one they have in USF 2000. Some other different parts, different wheels, brake package, a little cheaper, a little more affordable to drive. But look at the cars lined up. I like the looks of this, folks. We are getting set to go. Race 3 for USF Juniors is green, green, green. Oh, and Giafoni trying to crowd down to the bottom. A good start so far, I believe. Let's see if he holds on to the spot. They'll work their way through here now, and indeed, that is a lead for Joey Brienza. I'll tell you, Giafoni tried to come down the racetrack. He'll go way wide from drivers right to left. He's going to look to the inside. A Lockhart coming in turn number 3. Lockhart goes way wide on the outside to be able to hold that spot. Clean through turn number 1, 2, and 3 thus far. There is the lead right now for Joey Brienza. They'll work their way under the bridge, and it's the big sweeping turn 6. It's going to be about 5 or 6 car lengths down into turn number 7. He looks good so far. Giafoni holding on to that 3rd spot. So a good start opening lap. Brienza's going to lead him out of turn number 7 for sure, tightening up mid-pack as well. We saw a lot of great mid-pack racing. We know we had a couple of drivers out front. Brienza, we saw him out front. Obviously, Quinn Armstrong in round number 1. Giafoni was right there. Jack Jeffers was there as well. But that battle from 4th back to about 8th or 9th was really good throughout the day. They'll pop back into review here in turn number 7. That's how close the lead trio is right now. That is Brienza holding on to the top spot. Qualified on pole for all 3 races. That's $1,500 in Cooper Tire money, $500 for the pole in all 3 of those races. As we know, all these drivers right now racing for a scholarship to move in to USF 2000, valued at over $241,000. Here's your leaders coming out of 13, 14, 15, and over to 16. Opening lap looking good. 10 circuits around this 3.74 mile, 17 corner racetrack at Sebring. The drivers here in USF Juniors. And Elliott, you were in this race, in this series last year. Good opportunity to learn not just racecraft, but you learn the culture of the series, right? You meet all the race directors. The same race directors you're going to have here, the ones you're going to have in USF 2000, in Pro 2000. Everybody involved in the series, the culture, the way we approach racing. That's really what this is all about, to get you guys dialed in to move your way up the ladder.
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to meet your race directors, the ones you're going to be working your way up through the series, hopefully all the way to IndyCar if you're one of these drivers. It's nice to be able to culture yourselves with the rest of the field you're going to be racing with, probably a lot of your career as well.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and then get yourself situated with your first probably proper race car, unless you came from yeah, it's always good to get some car experience. It's a great program and some really great racing.
Look at this racing. You are right, Elliott. This is a big move. Here comes Giafoni to the inside. Giafoni taking advantage of Lockhart trying to find a way by, and Giafoni book it. He's gone into second. That was a really strong racecraft move for Giafoni. It was a kind of a defensive move to the inside for Brienza. Lockhart was trying to potentially go over-under to look at him, and when he opened the door coming out of turn number 3, Giafoni threw that D-Force car to the inside of 4. That gave him the inside of turn number 5 as well. Very impressive run for Giafoni as he has gone into second. They'll work their way through turn number 7, and out they come. We'll watch them pop back in front of us here in turn number 10. Brienza leading the opening circuit, but there is a long way to go. And again, most of the I think probably every driver here now on used rubber. And look at this, they're going at it as Lockhart trying to find a way by Giafoni. Right behind them, Jack Jeffers runs fourth. Max Taylor fifth. Sixth is Barker. Seventh is Armstrong. Eighth is Ho. Ninth for Curry. 10th is Eder. Schulten, Golan, and Cabrera round out the top 13. The 13 drivers in the field. But I'll tell you, we are dialing the wick up here. We're turning this one up to 11 because it is aggressive here. Everybody trying to get a race win. Look at this. Lockhart back to the inside. Turn number 16, a tough place to do it. Lockhart right there on him. They'll work their way out of turn number 16, and we've struggled to get that camera going again. We had another driver, a VRD driver, further back has gone off on the outside of turn number 16. But needed issues with our turn 17 cam, so we'll pick them up when they come back out of turn 17 down to 1. So what happened there? Because Lockhart going to the inside of turn 16, Elliott, that's not really the place to make the pass, because if you get the pass done, you're going to lose so much room or so much speed coming out of the corner. Everybody else is going to swallow you up. We'll come back to it in a second. Let's see what all's played out with this. Brienza's going to have a decent little lead. Giafoni's still holding the spot, but this has brought Taylor and Jeffers back in. In fact, Max Taylor has, I think, got by Jack Jeffers. Here's a move to the inside, a little further back. That's Jeffers going to the inside, I think, trying to get by Taylor. Oh, and there's a dropped wheel for for Lockhart. Lockhart's gone wide off of turn 1. He holds the spot. Jeffers still looking to the inside. Aggressive racing here right now. Wow, we're only 2 laps in, and Elliott, they're throwing it down.
They're driving like it's 2 laps to go. It's crazy right now. I'm not surprised, but it'd definitely probably be more beneficial for them to settle in.
And this is where we hope these drivers will kind of get the idea of this, right? This is USF Juniors. This is the development level. This is where you learn the racecraft to move into USF 2000. It's one of the reasons why we started this program last year. Number 12 coming down pit lane, that's Ethan Barker. He was the driver who went off the track, whether it was a mistake or a mechanical. Barker off the racetrack over in 15. He'll bring it up to his crew, the VRD crew here on pit lane, so he falls down to 13th. But indeed, the launch of this program, the design, was simply to give these drivers an opportunity to learn this racecraft, to get themselves dialed in to go USF 2000 racing. So many of these drivers coming right out of karts or potentially F4 or the Skip Barber Racing School, whatever it may be. Of course, Skip Barber is our official racing school now. Great to have Skip Barber on board. They are the official racing school of the USF Pro Championships. They're inviting drivers to compete for over $500,000 in prizes, including a $100,000 scholarship for their Skip Barber Racing School Formula Car Series champion to move into USF Juniors next year. So thrilled to have them on board as their official school. But again, this battle up front, these guys are going at it so early. Everybody fighting for position. Lockhart right there. It's Lockhart and his teammate Max Taylor. They got together in race number 2. Why do I feel like someone pressed the reset button and we're going to do it all over again?
They're really close, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I hope they're being smart and can focus on catching the leader instead.
Well, you know that they sat them down, Dan Mitchell did in the crew, after the incident that affected both those drivers in race number 2. Brienza's now holding a pretty good lead over Giafoni. A little bit of a gap now. Here comes a move, though, for the number 16 to Quinn Armstrong. He's trying to go to the outside right now of Jack Jeffers. Jeffers on the inside, him on the outside. Coming in there as well is Lucas Facuri. So those 2 D-Force drivers are trying to get by the exclusive Autosport number 92 of Jack Jeffers. Jeffers a couple of third place finishes rather in the first 2 races, and that's race 1 winner Quinn Armstrong on him. Now, Elliott, you win the opening race. You had an absolute rocket. You come out of the gate, you score the victory. He ends up finishing second in race number 2, and now here he is running in 6th. Is there a frustration maybe, man? You won the first one. Why am I not as fast? What is it? Is that a mental thing you drivers have to deal with?
It's definitely a challenge for sure, knowing you have the car to win, that you've done it before. You have to remember to stay smart. It's hard for any driver after having something like that happen, just to stay smart, bring home points, and reset even onto the next race, but obviously focus on this one as much as you can until the end. But just focus on finishing. It's in the points, and bringing it back into the next race of the season with good points.
I did the same thing. Elliott saw the action coming out of turn number 10, took a deep breath like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Because they were too wide coming out of turn number 10. Jimmy Lockhart in that 48 throwing everything right now at Nicholas Giafoni. Right now, again, it is Brienza leading the way, trying to get that victory that has eluded him thus far on Thursday and Friday. And a little bit of room there for Giafoni now. As you can see, Jack Jeffers right there. And these two VRD drivers going at it again. Jimmy Lockhart and Max Taylor. A little further back, you got Carson Eder and Eric Schotten. Here's a couple of drivers in the D-Force drivers as well. That's going to be, I believe, Ethan Ho and Brady Golan. That's for the final position inside the top 10. But, man, I'm telling you, the action right now up front, at least not up front, because let's be real, Joey Brienza's putting good laps. He's thrilled because any of you drivers get out front. We've all done this. I want the lead, and I want everybody else behind me to battle. He's got Giafoni by himself. He's pulling away a little. You can see the gap. But, man, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, those guys are going at it still.
It's always crazy to see, and always a good thing to see when you're the leader and you just watch that pack close up behind you and everybody's fighting for like a seven-car battle for second place. You just know if you put some laps together, you're probably going to get home with the win, and I'm assuming that's just probably what Joey Brienza's doing. Yeah,
Joey's going to put down those good laps, try to be smart. Here's his battle further back. Looks to me like I think Quinn Armstrong was able to get by, but that's the 48 of Lockhart. He's lost a couple of spots. Indeed, a little bit of trouble there for Lockhart in the 48. He's gone back a bit. So Lockhart, who was P4 across the line, I want to say he may have lost a couple of spots. I think both Quinn Armstrong and Jack Jeffers were able to get by. So we'll reset things coming back around. It'll be crossed halfway flags next time by as they all work their way now down into turn number 7. Brienza's lead, almost 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds last time by. Early on in the run, once you've got going, I know this at least from my experience and a lot of other drivers we've talked to, Elliot, the opening couple laps kind of hectic. But once you get in, 4 or 5 laps in, especially midway through, you kind of settle back into the groove. You know the drivers you're racing with. You have an idea of what your potential outcome could be based on where you are.
Right. You know how your car feels. You know how your like projected outcome could be. What the maximum you can do is. Your goal is just to put together some quick laps, maximize what you have, and not go for too much.
That's it. You don't want to overshoot. A lot of times it's about managing expectations. I always go back to the Iceman, Scott Dixon. He's the guy who wins championship after championship because he brings the car home with whatever he's got. Some days he doesn't have a race-winning car, and he knows it, but he maximizes it, and he'll find himself on the podium. He didn't have a race-winning car, but you start banking podium after podium, top 5 after top 5. And by the time you get to the stretch run, you're going to find yourself in championship contention. Turn 17, camera back up. There's the lead right now. And a little pinch to the inside for Max Taylor as he's trying to hold off to the outside run. Look at Quinn trying to go the outside. No, and he loops it. He gets into the bumps on the outside of 17, and Quinn Armstrong goes around. That was I think he was running potentially 4th. So Armstrong has gone around. He got that thing to the outside, and I'll tell you, these cars are stiffly sprung. You got to run the inside line. You get outside like that. I'll tell you, Ethan, Elliot, there you go. Don't run the outside line tomorrow.
Especially not in turn 17. It's not where you want to be in these cars with how stiff they are. But, he had to run, so he went for it, and unfortunately, it didn't work out.
You know what? I like that. He did go for it. He was trying to get the run on the outside of Max Taylor. That was potentially for 3rd. I talked about the fact he had won early and was struggling around a little bit here. So, indeed, a tough one there for him. He'll fall all the way down to 12th position. Not sure yet if he's been able to refire and rejoin the field. We'll see with live time he gets back up again here. But that's a tough one there for Quinn Armstrong, who came out of the gate with a race win, 5th in race number 2, and has fallen down to 12th spot now here in race number 3. Going for third, trying around the outside of Max Taylor. But again, for you guys in USF 2000, a good look at what can potentially happen if you're trying to run outside. You can see him get around the outside, and it looks like the car jinked a bit, and he actually went a full cart width even wider.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of bumps on the outside of turn 17. If you're going to go for a pass, you got to get done really early in the corner. Otherwise, you're going to be offline. And turn 17, there's one line you can run. Otherwise, you're out in the marbles and bumps, and it doesn't work out very well.
So last time by, Brienza, Giafoni, Taylor, Jeffers, and Lockhart, top 5. Facuri up into 6th. Eder in 7th. Schouten in 8th. Golan 9th, and top 10 is Ethan Ho. Giovanni Cabrera running in 11th. Quinn Armstrong in 12th. And as we know, an issue there for Ethan Barker early. He is pulled into pit lane in the VRD racing machine, the Texan out P13. Here come your leaders once again down the straight. There's your current gap for Joey Brienza, looking for his first career USF Juniors victory. A couple of second-place finishes. He'll roll that car into Sunset Bend, turn number 17, pretty wide on the exit. A little more, I think, narrow on the entry. You can kind of push it wide a bit on the exit. He's got a solid lead, 1.9 seconds. Went purple last time by with a 2:12.487. We'll see what kind of lap time he has here to put lap number 6 in the books. Lap 6. His fast lap still 2:12.487. So a good lap time there for Brienza, 2.1 seconds over Nicholas Giafoni, who won race number 2. Behind them now, Max Taylor. Here's Max Taylor right there for VRD Racing. That's third. Jack Jeffers looking to get another top 5. Third place in the both of the first 2 races, potentially a P4 for Jack Jeffers as he has a full second on Jimmy Lockhart. Lockhart was running up front. You can see him getting a little wild a couple of times. He ended up falling back, had an issue over in turn 1 and went off track a bit. Gathered it back up, but Lockhart currently P5. Quinn Armstrong back on the track, indeed refiring, continuing on. So Armstrong back up now into the 11th spot, 15 seconds behind Ethan Ho. So that's going to be it, I believe, for Quinn Armstrong. And that's an issue, man. It's what do you do there? You don't want to pull a driver back. You want to push him. Like, you'll get this, I know, when your crew's with you. They want you to be aggressive. Sometimes you got to pull back a little bit, but you never want to have to push your driver. It's always better to try to pull them back, right?
It's always good. I have some really good guys on my team. They always tell me if I'm getting a little too aggressive, just to back off, relax, and get what I can out of it. But it's a mistake that'll happen, especially in the junior series that we're in right now for USF Pro Championships. It's a learning experience, especially in USF Juniors, and everybody's going to have it happen. But a time or two, it's always good to get it out of the way in these series.
Joey Brienza has not put a wheel wrong all weekend thus far here, both Thursday and Friday action. Led early, qualified on pole, led both races early. Got reeled in by Quinn Armstrong, who had a hot rod in the opening race. Then, of course, as we know, Felipe Giafoni, or Nicholas Giafoni rather, Felipe's father, Nicholas Giafoni, was the driver to beat in race number 2. He was able to reel him in, made a move by, a couple of minor mistakes, but still held on for the spot. So Nicholas doing a good job there. But, as I said, it was not Brienza making any kind of mistakes. It was just sheer pace. They've been able to dial in this car, and he is looking good right now. Another driver with a bit of issues coming through turn 17. That was for Curry. It is a tough way to go through that corner. These cars, if you're not placed perfectly, you literally have to roll the corner in there and just wait for the thing to take a set again before you get back onto the power. I think if you're not quite there and you're on power too early, the thing's going to be like a bucket Bronco for you.
Definitely. There's a few certain bumps, at least in preseason testing, that I found, like, you have to wait until you're over those to get on the power. Otherwise, you either just plowing an outside wall or you'll spin on one of those bumps for carrying too much speed. It's definitely a hard corner, and you feel like you want to push it more than you really can.
So the lap, the lead lap right now, or the lead right now, 1.8 seconds, as Giafoni just turned a fast lap, a 2:12.119. He was about 0.3 quicker than Brienza last time by. So we see another challenge here for Giafoni. 3 laps to go. He's going to have to be about 0.6 quicker a lap if he wants to close up on Brienza. And I guarantee the guys on the radio will be telling Joey, listen, he's coming up a little bit here. You better dial things in. There's the number 16 of Quinn Armstrong as he's trying to close back up here on Ethan Ho, was significantly quicker on the last lap. So potential top 10 here for Quinn Armstrong. I wonder whether or not Ethan Ho may have some kind of damage on the car because he was quicker than the 2:16s he's running right now. We watched him, of course, qualify much better than that. He was further up the field with a 2:11.5 in qualifying, so could be a potential damage machine for Ethan Ho, and that could put him in harm's way in terms of Armstrong coming through to try to work his way back into the top 10. Nonetheless, this driver here for Exclusive Autosport, the Colorado driver Joey Brienza leading the way. There is the next group coming through. That's Fakuri, I believe, there. As we're back on it, here come the drivers out of turn number 16. It's Brienza, Giafoni, Taylor, Jefferson, Lockhart. That's your top 5. And indeed, Giafoni closing up a little bit potentially here. 1.8 seconds was the gap last time by. We'll watch Brienza and how he takes turn 17. Let's see how this car looks coming through. A little bit of a bump. Handles it pretty well. A little bit more of a wider, I think, on the apex for Giafoni. We'll keep looking at lap times. Brienza's got to keep his head down because Giafoni's still coming. 1.8 seconds was the gap. There'll be 2 to go this time by. Watching live time and call it 1.5 seconds. Giafoni 0.3 of a second quicker. It's a second and a half now, but he's going to have to get at least 7 or 0.8 of a second these next 2 laps. Brienza, though, wants that victory. 2 second-place finishes. Needs to get the win. Always talk about that first victory, Elliot, to get the monkey off the back, right? You want that first win at the start of the season. It takes so much pressure off. That's something you'll be looking forward to try to get here tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, I think we have a really good opportunity for my Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing drive planning team. We were really fast in preseason testing, top 3 the whole time here, and I think we have a really good opportunity for a few podiums and even a win if we work hard enough. Let's
talk a little bit. We have some time here with a couple laps. So obviously, we're going to want to focus on the final lap. But you've got a lot of stuff going on. Your drive for dyslexia. You have so much stuff going on. I saw you giving some speeches. You got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. I have a charity called Driving for Dyslexia. I'm a dyslexic race car driver. We raise money to train teachers in Orton Gillingham tutoring, which helps kids with dyslexia learn how to read. Long story short, I have been speaking to a lot of kids in classrooms, trying to empower them if they have a disability or trouble reading. And there was actually just an announcement that I'm going to speak at the World Dyslexia Summit in New York City next week, which is pretty awesome. I get to speak alongside Richard Branson, Rashawn, that plays for the Green Bay Packers. It'll be awesome.
That is super exciting. You're obviously doing some great work. Here's this battle right now. Oh, side by side coming through 16. Let's refocus on the race, as that was Jack Jeffers throwing it to the inside there on Max Taylor. They are battling it out. I think Jimmy Lockhart right in there as well. Lockhart had just turned the fastest lap with a 2:12.065. Lockhart, one of the fastest drivers. There's first and second, but third, fourth, and fifth are dialing it in. You can see Lucas Fakuri back there as well. Jeffers was getting a little bit anxious, made a move to the inside of turn 16. Here comes Lockhart, and indeed Lockhart is gone into fourth. Jeffers back to P5. So the VRD drivers, Taylor and Jeffers, running third and fourth. Let's see if we see it again. Potentially a battle between the 2 VRD drivers. Here's the fight coming into turn number 1. VRD side by side. Lockhart trying the outside. Is he going to hold on? Jeffers is right there. Lockhart's through. But down to the inside comes Taylor. Side by side for the 2 VRD drivers coming through turn number 4. Over to 5. Jeffers is going to go down to the inside as well. What a scrap here right now. This is for third, fourth, and fifth. Brienza is gone. Giaffoni second, but we are not done at all. The fight coming out of turn number 6 to 7. Jeffers kind of stepping back to have a look at it here. It's Taylor to the inside, Lockhart to the outside, into turn number 7. Do they get through 7 cleanly? They do so far. Hold your breath if you're on the sidelines for VRD, because Taylor and Lockhart elbows up again. Final lap here in USF Juniors, the third race of the triple header, and there is the leader, Brienza. That's the gap back to Giaffoni, race 2 winner. Brienza, the point leader, coming in with a couple of second-place finishes. And, yeah, they're going at it. Lucas Fakuri back here as well for D-Force. He's taking advantage of it. Jack Jeffers better watch out because the Brazilian ready to fight. But it is Taylor and Lockhart. How's this going to finish? Because remember, we got 16. We got 17. Here comes your leader, Brienza. One more time through 15 and 16 for Brienza. One more time through 17. Here come that group for the final position on the podium. Lockhart doesn't throw it down the bottom. What happens in 17? And here they come, the final run down the Ullman Straight for USF Juniors. They have been so impressive throughout this week. I've been unbelievably impressed by these young drivers. The fight, though, you can see in the middle of the racetrack. Brienza and Giaffoni are going to be clean coming through 17. Let's keep it here because here's the scrap. They're going to go side by side. Who's going to try the outside? That's Lockhart trying the outside. We've seen this before. They're side by side coming through. Jeffers to the bottom. Who's going to get a bet? Oh, Jeffers with a big run. This is going to be a side by side run. Brienza wins his first one in USF Juniors. Joey Brienza for Exclusive Autosport, winning race 3 at Sebring for USF Juniors. 1.479 the margin. Nicholas Giaffoni backs up a win in race 2 with a strong run to second. And Jimmy Lockhart at the line, the last lap, the fastest. No, lap 8 was his fast lap. He's able to get the position. The margin, 56 thousandths of a second. Jimmy Lockhart on the podium in third. Max Taylor fourth. And Jack Jeffers fifth. That was the last lap we like to see here at Sebring. I will tell you, you probably would rather be in Brienza's spot than Lockhart's spot when it comes this weekend, Elliott. But that was some good racing. And hold on, 3 straight green to checker races in USF Juniors.
That's incredible for these younger drivers. Their first race in this lower rank in the series is really great to see green to checkered racing. It's really a testament to karting, the racecraft that they've gotten on their way up through the ranks throughout the SCUSA Series, Stars Championship Series. It's just a testament to all karting right now, as well as these drivers just staying patient and staying clean, especially in that third group coming through, was really great.
Elliott Cox, thanks for joining me up here. I appreciate it. You got the drive planning machine ready to go here today for Sarah Fisher-Hartman Racing Development. Good luck this weekend. Again, thanks for joining me, bud.
Thank you for having me.
Elliott Cox, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be back on track alongside a bunch of drivers in USF 2000 here on Saturday and Sunday. They'll take to the track first thing tomorrow morning with their practice session. But the driver there who's got the win, he's been trying to get it all week long. 2 second places and now a win for Joey Brienza. He wins over Nicholas Giaffoni and Jimmy Lockhart after a fantastic battle, a 4-way fight for the final position on the podium. It's Brienza, Giaffoni, Lockhart, Taylor, and Jeffers. Fakuri ends up in 6th, Golan in 7th, Schouten in 8th, Ho 9th, Armstrong 10th, Eder, Cabrera, and Barker rounding out the 13 drivers in the field. Folks, a little break in the action. We're going to head down to Victory Lane to talk with Joey Brienza and hand out some hardware to he, Giaffoni, and Lockhart. Here, 3 straight green to checker races for the drivers in USF Juniors. Congratulations to all 13 drivers. Wow. That was, I think, not something everybody expected. Some really good racing, side-by-side action. It was exciting for sure. All part of this Cooper Tires Grand Prix of Sebring. Let's bring up the driver coming home in 3rd spot today. What a tremendous drive. The trophies are already up here, but finishing in 3rd spot, an outside run in turn 17 to get the position by just 56 thousandths of a second. His first podium, Jimmy Lockhart for VRD Racing, P3. Good job, Jimmy. Saw this driver up on top of the podium yesterday. He fought his way back forward, so a win in race number 2 earlier today, and he ends up with 2nd today. He's definitely in the championship fight for D-Force Racing, finishing 2nd, Nicholas Giaffoni. Again, for the driver here who started on the pole for all 3 races, 2 second-place finishes to start things off. Needed that victory and got it done here today. A flawless performance, over 10 laps. The winner for Exclusive Autosports, Joey Brienza. Joey, I can see it in your face, obviously. I can see it in your face. A couple second-place finishes weren't getting the job done after you qualified on pole. Good jump here. They fought behind you, but you didn't put a wheel wrong all weekend long.
Yeah, I just had to make you guys sweat a little bit. First off, I want to say hi to my mom and my dad that are at home. I know they're going to be, and my brother and sister. They're probably all watching, and a little early birthday to my brother. So happy 13th, G. I got you a win, bro.
How did it feel out there? Did the track did it stay the same, or did it kind of change at all over the first couple of races?
Yeah, so it definitely changed for sure. More than just track temps. Obviously, it was greasy yesterday, and then cool and really gripped up in the morning, and then greasy again today. So really had to adapt my driving to the track to make sure that, you know, I was changing with the track and not letting the track change me.
First win's obviously crucial. How do you feel? Give me the emotions of getting that victory.
Dude, I feel pumped right now. I'm really happy. Obviously, it's a long year and we got to keep our heads down and keep working, but it's positive, and I'm really happy for the team. I mean, they worked hard all weekend, and to give them a win at the end is definitely sweet, and, you know, just beyond myself, it takes a team, so I'm really pumped for them.
Yeah, I'll give you one more chance. Who do you want to thank today?
First off, my parents. You know, thank you, Mom, Dad, Gabby, and Johnny, my little brother and little sister. And then everybody at EA, Michael and Kim Duncalf, they run a fantastic organization and race team. And then my engineer, Lou, just giving me a rocket ship all weekend long. My mechanic, Brian, killing it, working hard, especially after we had the electrical issue. Brian, Rod, Anthony, Evan, Connor, just everybody on the team jumped in on the car to get it fixed, and we got it sorted for today. So really grateful to all of them. And let me look. Thank you, Cooper Tires, and thank you, Corpay.
Well done. Grab that first place trophy, man. You got 2 second placements already. Get that thing in the air. One more time, round of applause for Joey Brienza, the winner today in race number 3. He'll be the point leader heading to Barber Motorsports Park. 3 straight podiums for Brienza, and he gets that win that he was looking for yesterday and, of course, earlier today. Little hat dance action happening. We'll bring some Discount Tire hats in here as well, of course. Great to have Discount Tire on board with us this year as part of our driver development scholarship program, and a lot of great stuff coming from Discount Tire. Great to have them again as one of our partners for 2023 and beyond. Get the shots we need here with the Discount Tire hats, and of course we'll bring the champagne out. We'll let the exclusive Autosport crew push that car out of the way if they want so it doesn't get covered in champagne. EA, if you want to move that car out of the way, otherwise it's going to get covered in sticky apple cider. So again, what a tremendous day it's been so far. We had our USF Pro 2000 drivers join the party. They'll be running on Friday and Saturday. USF 2000 coming in for tomorrow and Sunday. You guys got time to wash those suits, so have at it. All right, guys, let's have some celebration. Grip it and rip it. It is champagne time for USF Juniors and Joey Brienza getting the win. Giafoni back on the podium as well. Great job for Nicholas. And Jimmy Lockhart with an outside run around his teammate Max Taylor. Great job for him to go to P3 by just 56 thousandths of a second. And check this out, folks. 3 different teams on the podium as well. Exclusive Autosport, D-Force Racing, and VRD Racing. What a great lineup of drivers we have here in USF Juniors. The first rung of the USF Pro Championships. 2 days down, 2 more to go. Tomorrow, USF 2000 coming to join the party with USF Pro 2000. So again, fantastic, guys. Great day. Thank you so much for tuning in on the broadcast. We got more to come. And again, congratulations to all the drivers here from USF Juniors, as we will now look forward to Barber Motorsports Park at the end of April when they'll race Thursday and Friday alongside the NTT IndyCar Series. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. My name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.